Welcome to the Nourish to Thrive podcast, faith-forward, science-backed strategies for women who want more energy, less weight, and real answers. I'm your host, Tanya Pennington-Miller, a functional nutritional therapy practitioner and functional blood chemistry specialist with a master's degree in applied clinical nutrition. If you're tired of feeling dismissed by your doctor, confused by your labs, and stuck in survival mode, you're in the right place. Here, we simplify the science. We get to the root, and we anchor it all in truth, because God made your body to heal and thrive, not just survive. It just needs the right kind of support and less noise. Hello, my friend. If your cycle has ended, but you are still showing up for yourself, you still want energy, you want mental clarity, and you still desire confidence in your body, then this episode is for you. And if you're not in menopause yet, but you want to understand what's ahead so that you can step into that season prepared, this episode is for you too. Because the truth is, menopause doesn't mean your metabolism is doomed. It just means the rules have changed. And when you learn to fast in rhythm with your new hormonal landscape, not only does your body feel safe, it can be one of the most powerful tools you have for restoring energy, for shedding stubborn weight, and just feeling like yourself again. So whether you've tried fasting and you felt worse, or you're just not sure where to begin now that your body just feels different, this episode will walk you through exactly how to fast wisely, safely, and strategically after 50. Menopause is so often talked about like it's the beginning of the end, right? Like slowing down, losing muscle, losing energy, just losing yourself. But that's not the truth. That's just the story that the world tells us. But here's the real story. Your body is not failing. You are just in a new season, and there's a rhythm for this season too. This isn't the end of something beautiful. It's the beginning of something grounded. You're not losing your rhythm. You're just learning a new one. And you just have to learn how to lean into it. God didn't make a mistake when he designed this chapter. He wove it into your story on purpose. It's a time to slow down, yes, to recalibrate, and to learn to walk in a new kind of strength. Okay, one that is rooted in wisdom and not in hustle. So if your body feels different now, that is an invitation, not to stop caring, not to give up, but to shift your approach, to trade striving for strategy, to trade constant pushing for intentional support, to care for your body in the way God designed for it to be cared for. Because in this season, you're standing on holy ground, sister. So let's talk about why menopause changes the rules. We're going to start with a little truth telling. Because this is where a lot of women get confused, especially when they have followed fasting advice that worked for their husband or their brother or even their younger selves, right? Menopause changes the hormonal landscape entirely. Estrogen and progesterone, the two major players that used to rise and fall in rhythm with your cycle, they're no longer cycling. They've dropped. And with that, the way your body responds to stress and to food and to fasting has all shifted too. Doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means that your body has changed and it's calling for wisdom. So let's talk about what is happening under the surface. Okay. And then we're going to get into exactly what I want you to do. Okay. So you are now naturally less insulin sensitive. Okay. Yes. This means you are more insulin resistant. This means that your body is more prone to storing fat, unfortunately, around the midsection, usually. And it isn't as efficient at clearing glucose from the bloodstream or using it for fuel. Okay. This shift makes you more prone to fat storage and more likely to experience things like energy crashes, intense cravings, or just kind of that puffy feeling after meals. It's not about willpower, it's about your physiology. And it's one of the biggest reasons the old ways of eating and fasting stop working after menopause. But the good news is this is exactly where strategic fasting and meal timing can work in your favor. But it has to be done wisely. Okay. Now, you're also more sensitive to cortisol. So stress hits harder than it used to. Back in your 20s and in your 30s, you might have been able to run on fumes, right? You were able to push through long work days, skipped meals, late nights, and you kind of still felt mostly okay. But now that same level of stress shows up differently. It shows up as belly weight that won't budge, as sleep that is not restful, or just that wired but tired feeling that I talk about, where your body's buzzing but your brain is foggy, right? You're not being dramatic. You're definitely not falling apart. Your nervous system is just speaking louder. It is asking for a different kind of support. Okay. It's asking for fasting that honors this shift. Okay. And when it doesn't honor this shift, it's only going to add fuel to the fire. Okay. Fasting is not the enemy here. In fact, when done wisely, it can be one of the best tools for reducing inflammation, for supporting mitochondrial health, and just giving your metabolism the nudge that it needs to reset. Okay. But the problem is, most fasting advice out there wasn't made for your hormones, it's made for men, or it's made for 28-year-old women with cycling hormones, okay, who have less stress, who have a faster bounce back window. Okay, that whole just skip breakfast and push through mentality, that works when your system is built to recover from it. But in postmenopause, when you're working with the lower hormonal buffer, your body doesn't want rigid fasting windows every day. It doesn't want stress piled on top of more stress. It wants rhythm. It wants nourishment. It wants to know it's safe before it lets go. Yes, before it lets go of body fat. Okay, so if you've tried fasting after menopause and you felt worse, like maybe your weight went up, your energy dipped, your anxiety spiked, it's not because fasting is bad, it's because the approach was misaligned for your season. Okay, and that's what this episode is here to change today. So, we are going to reframe fasting as a tool of support and not stress. It should never be punishment. It's not hustle, just real grounded restoration for a body that's entered a new season and deserves to be treated like it. Okay. So let's talk about the metabolic realities of postmenopause. Let's talk real life because this is where most women start to feel the shift. Your body doesn't respond the way that it used to. What once worked isn't working anymore. The workouts, the diets, the same meals that you've been eating for years, and it is frustrating. Okay, but again, this is your physiology. Here's what's happening under the surface. Muscle mass naturally declines with age. And this is especially when we are not strength training. Okay. And muscle isn't just about tone or strength, although both of those are very important. It's metabolic currency. Okay. Listen to this. Every pound of muscle you lose, you are now going to burn up to 50 fewer calories per day for each pound. And it might not sound like a lot, but it adds up really quickly. So let's say you've lost 5 to 10 pounds of muscle over the years, which is common for women after 50. That is 250 to 500 calories your body is no longer burning daily, just going about daily life. Okay. This is one of the key reasons metabolisms feel slower now and why rebuilding muscle isn't just nice to have, it's essential. And when you pair that muscle loss with the other changes that are happening in this season, the declining estrogen, the declining progesterone, heavier load on your adrenal glands, and a thyroid that is often running just a little bit slower, it's no wonder your body feels different. It's not just your imagination. Your entire metabolic system is responding differently now. This is where many women get blindsided. They're doing everything right, but their body feels more resistant, feels less responsive, slower to recover, quicker to store. Okay, so here's what this can look like. Your metabolism naturally downshifts, not just from hormonal changes, but also from the stress you've carried. And when both are in play, your body holds on to fat more easily. Again, this is usually around the midsection, okay? And it just becomes more resistant to change. You often have more sugar cravings, maybe restless nights, or just those kind of 2 a.m., 3 a.m. wake ups. These are all signs that your nervous system is asking for safety. Okay, this is the point where most women try to tighten up. You've probably done it yourself. I've done it myself. We double down, we cut more, we push harder. Okay, but what's actually needed is we need to loosen our grip. We need more minerals, more rhythm, more nourishment, because in this season, healing doesn't come from pushing harder, it comes from being wiser. And when you stop trying to force your body into someone else's protocol and start supporting it the way it was designed to be supported, that's when everything begins to shift. Okay, so what actually helps? Not starvation. It's not overexercising. It's not pushing through, but rebuilding your metabolic foundation with protein first meals. Okay, these are going to preserve muscle and stabilize your blood sugar. We need mineral support, especially magnesium, sodium, and potassium. Okay, these are going to ease cravings and improve your energy. We need nervous system regulation because a calm body burns more efficiently than a stressed one. And yes, fasting, but not as punishment, as a gentle, rhythm based tool that tells your body you are safe, you can let go. It's not about fixing your body, it's just about realigning with what your body needs in this new season and giving it the support to respond. And we're going to walk through each of these that I just went through. We're going to walk through them step by step so you will know exactly how to make it work for you. So I want to now get into the rhythm-based fasting models for menopause. These are the fasting options that support hormone balance and metabolism without depletion. So let's start with the 5-1-1 rhythm. This is going to be your foundational pattern. This is the rhythm I'd recommend for most postmenopausal women. This is where I want you to start, okay? The 5-1-1. So here's what it looks like in a week. You're going to do the 5. 5 stands for the 5 days. You're going to do intermittent fasting. This is going to look like 13 to 17 hours of no eating in your day. So this means 7 hours to 11 hours of an eating window that you can eat every day. 1 day of a longer extended fast, anywhere from maybe 24 to 36 hours, depending on your stress level and your experience with fasting. Okay. And then 1 day of no fasting at all. Okay. We want this intentional bump in calories and nourishing carbohydrates. Okay. So 5 days of intermittent fasting, 13 to 17 hours roughly of fasting. 1 day of a longer fast, anywhere from maybe 24 to 36 hours, and then 1 day of no fasting at all. Okay. This is your foundational pattern in postmenopause. And here's why it works so well. In postmenopause, your body doesn't respond the same way to constant daily fasting. Okay. It actually thrives with variation. So the 5-1-1 rhythm mirrors that need for fluctuation. Those 5 intermittent fasting days are going to help to keep your insulin stable. It's going to help to train your metabolism to use stored fat more efficiently and to give your digestive system a break. Okay, but without overwhelming your nervous system by over fasting. Okay. Now, that one longer fast is like hitting the reset button. It's going to promote autophagy, which is your body's natural cellular cleanup. It's going to help to lower inflammation, and it can be an incredibly powerful tool for improving your metabolic flexibility. Okay. And that one no fasting day with this bump in calories and nourishing carbohydrates, it's not a cheat day. Okay. It's a strategy. Your thyroid and your adrenals, they still need reassurance that fuel is coming. Okay. Especially in a season where your cortisol sensitivity is higher. That carb refeed tells your body you are not in famine, you are safe. And I can't stress this enough. Honoring this day in particular is one of the biggest keys to fat loss in postmenopause. Because when you try to bypass it, when you try to push harder, cut your carbs lower, or just skip that nourishment, your body's not going to burn more fat. It's quite literally going to do the opposite. It will hold on to it because it thinks that resources are scarce. Okay, so that one intentional refeed day is what keeps your metabolism responsive instead of resistant. Okay, the beauty of this pattern is that it is adaptable. If you're feeling great, if you're sleeping well, your stress load is low, you can push that extended fast closer to that 36 hours. And this is where the real fat loss magic happens. Okay, around that 30 to 36 hour mark, your body shifts into, this more fat burning and deeper cellular repair. Okay, it's a beautiful thing, but if you are in a higher stress week, you're going to want to keep it closer to that 24. You might want to go down to 20. You might want to skip the longer fast altogether that week. Because when stress is already high, pushing into a longer fast can spike your cortisol further. Okay, this will signal your body to hold on to fat instead of releasing it. So it's important to remember in this season, safety equals fat loss. And honoring that is what keeps your metabolism responsive. This is not about rigid rules. It's about creating a rhythm that your body can trust, one that resets your metabolism without draining your reserves. Okay, so let's move on to the 4-2-1 rhythm. This is our fat loss and metabolic reboot rhythm. So if you're already feeling strong, you've done the 5-1-1, you're sleeping well, your stress load is low, this next rhythm can be a powerful tool for deeper fat loss and metabolic flexibility. Okay, so here's what this looks like. Now we have 4 days of intermittent fasting, roughly 13 to 17 hours a day. 2 days of extended fasts. And now we might look at this 24 to 36 hour fast for 2 days out of the week. And then 1 day of full nourishment, no fasting, higher nourishing carbs. Okay. This rhythm is best used in lower stress seasons. Okay. Because 2 extended fasts in a week is a lot for your body to carry. Okay. If your foundation is not solid. So here's why it works so well when the timing is right. Those 2 extended fasts push you deeper into that fat burning mode. So by the time you cross that 24-hour mark, your body shifts into a more efficient state of fat metabolism, okay, of autophagy. Again, your body's cellular cleanup mode in reduced insulin levels. Okay, and that single no fasting, higher nourishing carb day, again, this is not a cheat day. It's the anchor that keeps your nervous system feeling safe. It tells your body, you're not starving, you're supported. And here is where a lot of women get it wrong. And you might be getting really excited listening to this rhythm, knowing that, oh my gosh, this is the one that is going to, really push me into that fat burning mode. A lot of women will try to jump straight into this rhythm without first building a solid foundation. Okay, with that 5-1-1 rhythm. Like if your sleep is off, your stress is high, or you're just still riding a blood sugar roller coaster, the 2 extended fasts in a week can really tip your system from fat burning into a stress storage mode. We do not want that. Okay. But when this is done in the right season, when you're truly ready, this rhythm can help break through plateaus and it can help to improve metabolic flexibility in a way that feels supportive and not depleting. Now, Here is one question that I'd like to speak to that I get all the time when talking about this particular rhythm. Should those two extended fasting days be back to back or split apart 2 separate times in the week? And here's my answer. Both can work. Okay, but I want you to choose based on where you are at right now. If you're newer to fasting, if your stress load is a little high, or your sleep is just not rock solid right now, then I want you to space them out. Okay. I want you to give your body a day or two of normal nourishment between those longer fasts. Okay. This is gentler on your nervous system. It's easier on your adrenals, and it's often going to be better for your sleep. Okay. But if you are experienced with fasting, you're feeling great, you're truly in a low stress season, you're sleeping well, then you can do those 2 days back to back. You can really extend that fast, okay? Some women love this because it helps them stay in that deeper fat burning state just a little longer. The key to all of this is to truly listen to your body. So if your sleep tanks, your energy crashes, or you just feel more wired than calm after doing these back to back fasts, then I want you to space them out. That's your body asking for a little more support. So either way, the power of the 421 isn't in forcing your body harder, okay? It's in creating just enough metabolic stress to encourage fat loss while helping your system to feel safe. So before jumping into the 421 rhythm, I want to make sure that you check in with yourself first, because this rhythm works best, again, in that lower stress, well supported season. And the best way to know where you're at is to ask yourself the right questions. I want you to ask yourself, how's my sleep? Am I falling asleep easily, staying asleep most nights, or am I waking up at 2 a.m. with a wired brain? Okay. How's my stress load this week? Do I feel steady? Do I feel grounded? Or am I feeling a bit overwhelmed and stretched thin? How's my energy? Do I feel generally clear and steady throughout the day, or am I crashing hard mid afternoon? Am I reaching for that afternoon coffee? How's my nutrition? Am I consistently eating enough protein, minerals, a nutrient dense diet to support my metabolism on non fasting days? How do I feel truly right now about fasting mentally? Do I feel curious and ready, or am I dreading it and just already bracing myself to just push through? Okay, if you answered yes to feeling steady and nourished and well rested, you're likely ready to explore the 421. But if your stress is high, your sleep is off, or you're just already feeling depleted, then I want you to stick with the 511 for now and just really focus on rebuilding your foundation first. Okay. Because we have to remember, more stress does not equal more fat loss. Safety does. Okay. And then the last rhythm is a 421 progesterone supportive rhythm. This one is going to help support your sleep and your mood. Okay. This rhythm isn't primarily about fat loss, although fat loss will still happen over time. This one is designed first and foremost to help you rebuild your calm and your steady hormones. Okay. I want you to think of it as giving your nervous system the safety that it has been craving, so that your body can finally shift out of survival mode and start responding the way it was designed to. Okay, but how do you know if this rhythm is the right one for you? I want you to ask yourself, am I sleeping poorly? Am I waking up at 2 to 3 a.m.? Am I struggling to fall asleep? Do I feel more anxious, edgy? Am I more emotionally sensitive than usual? Is my weight loss completely stalled even though I'm doing all of the right things? Does my body feel tired but wired? Do I feel like I just need to exhale? Like my system is asking for calm and not more push? If you're nodding your head to most of these, this is your rhythm for this season. Okay, here's how this one works: 4 days of gentle intermittent fasting. We're talking maybe 13 to 15 hours here. Okay. 2 days now of no fasting at all. And this is especially if your sleep or your mood is off. This is critical for recovery. And now we have just the 1 day of a longer fast, and this might look like 20 to 24 hours. If you can push it to 36 because you're feeling really good and your body is feeling solid, then you can do that for that day. So I want you to think of this rhythm as your healing bridge. It gives you the benefits of fasting while still sending your body the safety signals it needs to repair. Okay. On your non fasting days, you're intentionally focusing on nutrient density, nourishing carbs, and rest. Okay. This is what helps to calm your nervous system, to stabilize your cortisol. Okay. It's going to actually support better progesterone production, even in postmenopause. Your adrenal glands still produce small amounts, but we have to support that. Okay. The longer fast, this is your strategic reset. If you're sleeping well, eating consistently, feeling steady, you can stretch that fast to 24 hours. Okay. But if stress is high, I want you to keep it closer to that 20 or 24. Okay. You actually might even decide to skip it for the week and do no fast at all. Truly listen to your body. The key with this rhythm, really with any of the rhythms, it's not perfection. It's truly listening. This is where women are going to see improved sleep, fewer mood swings, and over time, just a more consistent fat loss. Okay, because the body finally feels safe enough to let go. Progesterone is your calming, your steadying, your nourishing hormone. It's the hormone that helps you to sleep deeply, to feel emotionally grounded, to keep your metabolism steady. And while your ovaries aren't producing this anymore, your adrenals are still making small amounts. But when you fast too aggressively or you live in a high stress state, progesterone is going to take the hit first because your body will always prioritize survival hormones like cortisol over nourishing hormones like progesterone. Okay. This rhythm gives your body breathing room. It says you're safe. You have fuel. You don't need to conserve every calorie or stay in fight or flight. And when your body believes that, those gentle, restorative hormones start to rise again. Again, none of these rhythms are rigid rules. They are a framework. They are starting points. They are tools to help you work with your body and not against it. Your hormones are not looking for perfection. They are looking for consistency and safety. So use these rhythms as a guide, but always check in with your own energy, with your sleep, with your stress levels. Because the real win is not nailing a fasting schedule, okay? It's creating an environment where your body can finally exhale and do what it was designed to do. Now, let's talk about how to actually know if your fasting rhythm is working for you. Fasting is not magic, it's a tool. And like any tool, you have to watch how your body responds to know if you're using it the right way. So let's first talk about some green flags that would tell you that you are right on track. Okay. Your energy is feeling stable throughout the day. You don't have that 3 p.m. crash. You are sleeping deeper. You're falling asleep faster, staying asleep through the night when you weren't before. Your cravings, especially for sugar or the evening glass of wine or two that you were having, begin to fade. And your clothes just might be starting to feel a little bit looser, even before the scale moves, because your inflammation might just be coming down first. Okay, these are all signs that your body feels safe, supported, and ready to let go. Okay, but let's also talk red flags. If you are feeling more irritable, more anxious, or just more emotional than usual, if you can't fall asleep or you're waking up at 2 or 3 a.m., wired, thinking about everything, staring at your ceiling, your weight is creeping up instead of down, You have the wired but tired feeling like you can't fully relax, even when you're exhausted. Okay. Or you are just flat out tired all the time. If any of this is happening, I want you to hear me clearly. This is not fasting working and you just need to push through to get the fat loss benefits. That is fasting stressing your system. But it also doesn't mean that you have to give up fasting altogether. Okay. It just means you need to adjust. Maybe you shorten your fasting window for a week. Maybe you swap an extended fast for a rest day. Maybe you focus on rebuilding your minerals and your protein before actually trying a fasting schedule again. Because fasting should leave you feeling more resilient and not more depleted. Okay, so again, before you change anything, ask yourself, how am I sleeping? How is my energy? How is my mood? How is my hunger? How is my weight responding? If most of your answers are leaning to green, then keep going. You're on the right track. If a few lean red, I don't want you to see this as failure. It's simply feedback. Your body is just asking for a gentler week, more food on certain days, okay, or a shorter fasting window for now. So the bottom line here is your body will tell you if this is working for you. You just have to listen. Fasting done well in this season should feel supportive and not punishing. You should feel steadier, lighter, more clear, okay, not wired, puffy, or exhausted. It's about partnering with it in the season God designed for you to be in. And when you do, it responds. Now, let's talk about what to pair with fasting to get better results. Fasting is powerful, but it's just one piece to the puzzle. Okay, what you pair with it makes all the difference in how your body is going to respond. So, I want you to focus on protein first meals. We're talking 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal. Okay. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at building and maintaining muscle. Okay. It's a process called anabolic resistance. And that's why postmenopausal women need more protein and not less. Okay. So I want you to aim for 30 to 40 grams of high quality protein per meal. Okay. With your first meal of the day being especially important. And if you're wondering, okay, well, how much protein do I need in an entire day? A really good target to aim for is 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of your ideal body weight. Okay, this would be your goal weight. It's not about bodybuilding. It's about keeping the muscle you have because muscle is metabolically active tissue. The more you maintain, the more calories you can burn at rest. Okay, the steadier your blood sugar and energy are going to stay. Okay, I want you to focus on daily strength training. Okay, think of protein and strength training as two sides of the same coin. You need the stimulus, which is the resistance training, the strength training, and you need the raw material. This is the protein to preserve your muscle. And in this season of life, maintaining muscle, again, it's not just about how you look, it's about your metabolism, your bone health, your brain health. Okay, so aim for 2 to 3 strength sessions per week, focusing on the big functional movements. I want you to think squats and rows and presses. Okay, even body weight exercises if you're just starting out. This is what keeps your muscle tissue active and it signals your body to hold on to it even as estrogen declines. And if you can also layer in 5 to 10,000 steps per day, not as punishment, but as a way to keep blood sugar steady, to keep your digestion moving, and to keep your nervous system calm. Okay, I mean, even just a 10 to 15-minute walk after meals can do wonders for stabilizing glucose and improving sleep. I'm not telling you have to train like an athlete here. Okay, I want you to train for longevity. Small, consistent movement choices now are going to pay off in energy, in balance, in hormone health later. Okay, 2 to 3 days of strength training, 5 to 10,000 steps per day. Don't let the 10,000 scare you. Start with 5. Okay, let's talk nervous system regulation. Your body can't burn efficiently if it thinks it's in danger. You can eat perfectly, you can fast perfectly, but if your nervous system is stuck in the fight or flight, your body will hold on to fat and energy like it's preparing for a storm. And this is where the simple things make the biggest difference. Breath work, prayer, time in nature, even just really slow, unrushed mornings are going to send a powerful signal to your body. You are safe. You can let go now. Okay, it doesn't have to be elaborate, like 2 minutes of deep breathing before a meal, a quiet prayer walk around the block, putting your phone down first thing in the morning and just going outside and looking toward the sunrise instead. When you create calm, your cortisol rhythm stabilizes. Okay, this way fasting can support healing instead of piling on more stress. You can also focus on some supplement support. Postmenopausal women burn through minerals fast. Okay, again, especially magnesium, sodium, and potassium. And if you're active, if you're fasting regularly or you're carrying a higher stress load, your demand for these nutrients goes up even more. And this is why I love recommending and using the Seeking Health Optimal electrolytes. I will put the link in the show notes again. It's clean, it's well balanced, higher in potassium than sodium, okay, which is especially helpful for supporting energy, hydration, and just blood pressure balance in this season of life. For women who are feeling that wired but tired, anxious feeling, like your stress just never seems to let up, I love the Daytime HPA by Gaia Pro. Okay, I will also link that in the show notes. It's a blend of adaptogens, including ashwagandha, rhodiola. Okay, it really helps to regulate cortisol rhythms and bring your nervous system back to a calmer baseline during the day. And for the evening times, if you find that your mind is racing at bedtime or you're waking between that 2 to 4 a.m. time on the clock, I really like Cerephos by Interplexus, can be incredibly helpful. Okay, it's phosphatidylserine, which is going to help lower elevated nighttime cortisol, allowing your body to shift into true rest and deeper sleep. Okay, and if you are increasing protein intake, if you're thinking, okay, I have not been eating as much protein as she says, you could potentially start to notice some bloating or fullness or slower digestion, then it can be a good time to introduce some digestive enzymes. Okay, digestymes are my favorite by Designs for Health. I'll put these in the show notes for you as well. It's going to help to break down and actually use your protein that you're eating. So it supports muscle preservation instead of leaving you feeling weighed down. Okay, none of these are magic pills. But when they are paired with solid nutrition, with strength training, with a good fasting rhythm, they can make the process feel smoother and more supportive. And you do not need to start all of these at once. Okay, pick one area to support. Okay, to get started, maybe minerals first for energy, or the Cerephos if sleep is your biggest struggle. Okay, just build from there as your body adjusts. Because supplements are meant to support your foundation and not replace it. Okay, and when they're used wisely, they can make this whole process feel smoother and more doable. Okay, just because your monthly cycle has ended doesn't mean your body no longer needs rhythm. In fact, rhythm might be even more important now. Your hormones may not be cycling the way they used to, but your body still thrives on variation, on having predictable patterns of nourishment, fasting, of rest. That's how it knows it's safe. That's how it feels supported enough to let go of stored fat, to improve sleep, to stabilize energy. Okay, think about it. Before menopause, your estrogen and progesterone ebbed and flowed across the month, creating natural periods of higher metabolic demand and then periods of restoration. The 511 and the 421 rhythms are designed to gently mimic those same patterns, but without overwhelming your system. Because the thing is, when you fast the same way every single day, your body eventually reads that as stress. But when you build in variation, longer fasts on the right days, shorter or no fasting on other days, you're sending the signal. We're not in danger. There's no famine. We're flexible. We're nourished. We're safe. And safety is what allows your body to respond. So even in this new season of life, rhythm still matters maybe more than ever. It's not just about what you eat or what you don't eat. It's about creating stability and flow in a body that's learning to operate with a new hormonal landscape. Because when your body feels supported, it's not going to cling to energy or hold on to fat out of survival mode. It can release, it can repair, it can recalibrate the way it was designed to. So the bottom line is, even without a monthly cycle, your body still thrives on rhythm. Okay, the right variation, the right patterns help to recreate the natural ebb and flow your hormones once followed. And when you honor that, you're not forcing fat loss or chasing energy through this, sheer willpower. You're building it from a place of safety and support. It's not about doing more. It's about creating the kind of consistency your body can trust. So if all of this feels like a lot to figure out on your own, I get it. You're not meant to piece all of this together alone. This is why I created my free training, The Real Reason You're Not Losing Weight, even when you're doing everything right. Okay. We'll connect the dots between hormones, metabolism, stress, and I'll show you exactly what the usual just eat less and move more advice hasn't been working in this season for you. This class takes place on Thursday, July 24th, and the link to save your seat will be in the show notes. Okay. And if you're ready to take the next step after the training, my 21-day Primal Reset works beautifully for women in menopause. In fact, many of my postmenopausal clients call it the first plan that actually made sense for their bodies. And when you join that reset, you will also receive my Rooted in Rhythm Primal Fasting Blueprint as a completely free bonus. So you'll know exactly how to implement everything that we've talked about today. And if you're not ready for the full reset, the blueprint will be available on its own after the free training. Okay, but start with that training. That's your door in. Okay, you just need a plan that works with your body and not against it, and I would love to walk you through it. Let me leave you with this. Your body isn't in decline, it's in transition. This new season doesn't mean you've lost your strength or your purpose. You are still designed for clarity, for peace, for vitality, just in a different rhythm than before. God's design for you didn't end with your cycle. He built this chapter into your story intentionally. It is not an afterthought. It's a continuation. A time to walk in a new kind of strength, one rooted in wisdom, in steadiness, and grace. So if you've been feeling behind or late in figuring this out, just take a deep breath. You're not late. You're right on time. And restoration, it's still available because he doesn't waste any season. You are still fearfully and wonderfully made in this one too. So what's your next step? Join me for my free training, The Real Reason You're Not Losing Weight. And I will give you a blueprint for how to reset your metabolism in 21 days. It's happening Thursday, July 24th. And we are going to connect all the dots between your hormones, your energy, and your metabolism. Inside that class, I'll introduce you to the 21-day Primal Reset, which works beautifully for you, where you are in your season. The link to save your seat is in the show notes. You're not meant to figure this out by yourself. Help is here. And I can't wait to see you there. And next week, we are shifting gears a little bit. I'll be walking you through what your doctor didn't tell you about your labs, why normal ranges often miss what's really going on, and how to start seeing the full picture. Trust me, you will not want to miss it. That's it for today on the Nourish to Thrive podcast. If you found value here, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or send it to someone who's walking a similar path. Keep showing up, keep asking questions, and know that healing is possible, especially when you trust the one who designed your body to heal. Until next time, stay rooted in truth and nourished in grace.